Young women in Asia are sold for sex to Western tourists. Children work long hours in brick kilns in hopes of paying off a debt that keeps increasing. Domestic servants are forced to work long hours without pay and sexually abused. But slavery exists in the United States as well. It is estimated that up to 100,000 persons are enslaved or trafficked right here in America, the land of the free. More than 80% of trafficked persons are coerced or forced into sex slavery, while the remaining 10 to 20% are in bonded labor. Unskilled foreign-born laborers recruited to the United States with the hope of finding a better life are at high risk of exploitation and enslavement. Teenage runaways are prime targets for human traffickers and often find themselves forced to sell sex on the street, at truck stops, or in dance clubs. These kids could come from any neighborhood in America, even yours. Interstate trucking routes are prime pathways for the movement of human cargo. Truck stops are high-volume areas for the exchange of trafficked persons, as well as for the sale of sexual services to truckers. It is not unusual to see teenage girls knocking on the cab doors of semi-trucks, trying to make a sale. Anti-trafficking legislation in Virginia has begun to address the need for increased awareness. Posters with information identifying potentially trafficked persons, as well as a 24-hour hotline number, are required to be visible in strip clubs or dance clubs where women are partially undressed. Truck stops are also required to post signs. But more must be done. One of the most significant things that can be done to stop human trafficking is to increase public awareness and the ability to identify potential victims. The nonprofit Truckers Against Trafficking has been working tirelessly to educate our nation's truckers to recognize the signs of human trafficking. Calls made by truckers to the National Trafficking Hotline have resulted in the rescue of many trafficked teens and the arrest of their traffickers. In one instance, one call by a trucker resulted in the arrest and conviction of 31 offenders, rescued 7 minors, and shut down a 13-state prostitution ring. Through the efforts of Truckers Against Trafficking, some truck stops, like Pilot Flying J, voluntarily incorporate human trafficking awareness into their new employee training. Others do not. We know that up to 40% of trafficking victims have at least one encounter with a healthcare provider at some point during their enslavement, but rarely are they identified as a trafficking victim. How much more often do victims pass through a gas station with their trafficker, or enter a convenience store, or eat in a fast food restaurant? How many of those employees are trained to identify potential signs of trafficking and slavery? Requiring all employees that work with the public to complete human trafficking awareness training is a start. The Polaris Project has more than 20 online training modules and webinars designed to educate various segments of the public about human trafficking. Requiring employees to complete a certain number of training modules as part of the requirements for certification by the Department of Public Health is an easy and inexpensive way to massively increase public awareness of modern-day slavery. What will it take to stop human trafficking and the exploitation of millions of men, women, and children? It will take all of us increasing our awareness and becoming empowered to act when we suspect someone we see is vulnerable. Let each of us think, if it was our daughter or sister, wouldn't we want that convenience store clerk or waitress she encounters to call? As William Wilberforce said, "You may choose to look the other way, but you can never say again that you did not know."